Well, we're talking about our relationship, right? So when I met Michael, he was living on a 7-acre property and he had a word of mouth business. He was helping so many people with this gift that he has. You'll recognize the gift as you tune in each week to our show. Someone once described us as a bear and a bird as our relationship. The
Yes.
bear and a bird. Guess who the bear is?
Adele.
No.
She's big and hairy. No.
Well,
Okay.
because two people from different worlds who love each other, but the question is, could we live together? So he was the sweet, calm, relaxing, intuitive bear, eating his honey on a 7-acre lot. And I was this awesome bird that needed to move around. I needed to move fast sometimes, right?
She did.
And it took a lot of getting used to. How do you live together and work together, like as we do, and still get along? So for 17 years, we've really worked at this.
We have worked diligently. When I met Adele, all I know is that outside of my cave was this swirling tornado. And it just spun like crazy, and she was always on the go and ready to do something and having to do something. And then, all of a sudden, when she would slow down, I would see what was in the middle, this beautiful, healthy being.
Thank you, Michael.
Very kind and compassionate, and brought me a lot of things for myself to learn. So it was quite a blessing that she arrived, except for the dust that got kicked into the cave.
Yeah, and the bird kind of poking at you sometimes. I
Yes.
told him he needed to share this information with the world, so I got him out of his cave, and we made our way to all these different places, and now we're here on the radio, which we're glad you're here.
Yes, and she is equally as skilled at this point, and together we are just quite a team.
Yeah,
And it
we
works beautifully. So getting to be with a partnership, it takes a lot of work. We have to learn who we are, where we came from. What we didn't realize, at least in the beginning, I didn't realize that where and how we were raised created a lot of our challenges, but also our gifts. And so the way you're raised in your family changes the way you perceive the world. It's the way that you look at the world and the way you look at your partners and what we look for from our partners. So if you're looking for a partner to take care of you, quite often that became from either a well-caring mother or father, who then you interpreted as, wow, I want someone to take care of me because that feels like love. That's what we determined was love in a relationship and the way it felt. And we all have very similar things, but they are a little bit different, a little slight different perspectives. And so for me, I liked peaceful situations. I liked calm situations. One, because my family, sort of like hers, was pretty chaotic and it was quite noisy. And so for me, silence was really a golden place. So I would often like to venture off into the woods, hang out in nature, drive to the Poconos, and just be with myself or a couple of people and just enjoy our day.
I love that about you, the silence, Michael. And I learned to get still inside from that. It was just a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that silence had brought me to a lot of observation, a lot of skills. At the other hand, my father was an old school type of parent, so it was stay in line and keep you in line, and so that kept us quite on our toes as children. And I personally didn't like that, so I changed that. That taught me how to parent differently. So there was a lot of skills that came out of that. That also determined how I saw partners or girlfriends or wife. And that created a whole different perspective of life, which I had to get a new perspective, realizing the dysfunctions that were in my family.
I would say the last 10 years, when Michael and I would go through things, and it was like all day long because of the work that we did together,
Right.
constantly together, we would audio tape what we learned. Like he would say, hold on, Adele. I'm like, oh, he's going to get the audio tape. Here we go. That's why we have so many audio tapes in our library. And if you really listen to them about relationships, you'll see that it's from our mistakes, from our what we've learned, and then Michael bringing the gift that you have as far as the process and how to undo it. We always used to say, we have to make it easy. Relationships should not be hard.
Right. They shouldn't be
No more.
stressful. They shouldn't be anxiety filled. A lot of people say that's normal. I would say that is common, but it doesn't have to be normal. A nice, smooth relationship is awesome. So, yes, did the arguments or the debates, and it might sound a little crazy that we recorded some, but we did that because we work with people. And that's one of our main course of action is to learn so that we can pass on the wisdom to other people, so they can parent differently, so they can have their relationships differently, and not see that relationships end just because you disagree. There's just so many ways to change that for you and us. And so as we discovered that, that was all part of our process, and we knew that. And it took a lot of work, and we worked together almost 24 hours a day, except for when we were sleeping. But sometimes it was 24 hours a day because we weren't sleeping.
Yeah, there we go. You know, we laughed at times. Actually, one time we have a therapist that's a friend, and we were collaborating on some things, and Michael and I had a disagreement. We were going at it, but the way we were going out of it amused her. She was like, I have been in therapy for so many years, and I've never saw a couple handle it the way you do. Well, we're like, well, we don't want to repeat it. This is the last time this will happen. We want to be able to talk to each other. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So no, the purpose of them in us is to discover what causes them, how we have them, and most importantly, how to resolve them, how to get along with each other.
Yeah. We spent a lot of time at like Anthony's.
Oh, Anthony's Coffee House?
Oh, yeah. Say hello
On
to
9th Street in South Philly?
Yes, yes, at the Italian Market. We
Yes.
hung out there, and we hung out at a lot of places, but that's one of our favorites because the coffee, it's not bitter, it's smooth. We have our chocolate-covered pretzels and chocolate-covered pretzels.
Reminds us of Italy.
It does.
So,
yeah.
When we would go there and discuss that, we would sit, we would take notes, we'd also observe other couples. So as we do this, we're always learning together. We're always finding out ways to make things smoother, things to work out nicely, and discover how to pass it on. So mine is the find out and figure out the puzzle. Adele's is how to say it to other people so it really makes sense, because you're the teachery part.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Well, you know, you speak so others can hear, like speak in their language and meet them where they are. So we've always done that.